Hi friends, in my last session I have showed the demo of how to use Spring Apache FreeMarker for web-based applications. It's like by hitting the endpoint, it uses the template and generates the output. So but this session I'm going to show how to use for non-web-based application. Example, if you are handling accounts data, if the account balance is going, the expected minimum balance, if you want to inform the user through mail or something, that time if you want to give like some table type of data, this is account number, this is the expected balance, this is your existing balance, something like that. This will happen based on the events, like when user amount is going less than the expected amount, automatically we have to do this type of things. So that time we have to use something like non-web based HTML content. So we can use this FreeMarker to generate this type of HTML content and attach it to our mail body. So now I'm going to create one more class. So I'm naming it as uprunner. I'm going to implement command runner. Implement command line runner. So this command line runner runs when application starts. So I'm going to add that unimplemented method, that is run method. So in this run method I'm going to show how we can use this FreeMarker template and generate the output. So a FreeMarker has a configuration object we can get from Spring. Private configuration FreeMarker template configuration. So I can use marker config. So @autobuy. So Spring provides this bean forming. Using this configuration object I can create the template. So if I go to the template Java doc, we have different ways we can create the template object. See, the first one is with the template name and the reader object. Second one is with the name, reader and the configuration. So I'm going to use this second one by passing configuration object, which I'm getting from my Spring Boot. And reader is instead of the file, this time I'm going to give the content in the reader. Example, if you are storing in your FTLs in some in a string format in a database or somewhere, I can use string reader and I can pass this and it generates the HTML output for me. So now I'm going to use the file itself. So I'm creating one method, file based marker. So here I'm going to create my file reader. File reader. So new file reader, it takes the file object. So inside that new file I have to give the file path. So I'm going to use this hello FTL. Alright, I'll take from this path. So I need to add import statement for file. It throws IO exception, so I'm adding throws file not found. So now I'm creating the template object. Template So I'm giving the name as template name. First thing is new template, hello, and for that I'm giving the reader object, this reader, and my config. I need to add import for this template object, freemarker.Template. This those IO exception. So in template has a process where we have to give the data object and the writer where we want to write this data. So we can check from the Java doc process method. So this is the process. Here we are going to pass the data model and the writer. So whatever the HTML content will be written into this writer object. So I'm going to use this process. Before that I have to pass the data model. So it's like a map keys, whatever the value we are using in this hello FTL. This is the key and value whatever we want to pass. So I'm going to create a map. String, in this case it is a string object, so I'm giving string data map. I'm going to use new hash map. So to my map I'm going to put my data. Keys name, value is world. So now I'm passing this to my template process method. So I'm going to use template dot process. So passing my data model, and the out is java.io dot out object. So this time I'm going to send my data to file reader. So I'm going to create new file reader, new file writer. It takes new file object. So I'm going to give it I want it to generate in the same slash apps. And file name is test.html. It's a data map, not model. Add import for file writer. So it throws template exception. So now I'm going to start my application. So my application is started. Let me go and check the path. So it's created test HTML. Sorry, already it didn't change. Let me delete and try again. So I'll rerun my. Sorry, we have forgot to add the @ component. That's why it didn't pick by the Spring Boot. Let me add component and run the application. Hope this time it will pick by the Spring Boot. Now if I open, we are able to get hello world. World is what I have passed from my data object. So instead of file writer, I can use string reader if you want to attach in your mail body, we have to convert the data in the string format, and I have to pass it to the mail body. So I'll show how to use string reader based thing. Instead of file, I'll be using string based marker. So here I am going to use string reader. So I'm going to copy this entire content as a string instead of file. String HTML content HTML FTL equal to and I'm going to create my reader object string reader equal to new string reader by passing HTML FTL object. After that, I'm going to create my template. I'm going to copy the same code. So here I'm going to use string writer. String new string writer. I need to add the import statement. So we can print this output. I could have used as an object. Right. Writer dot toString. It gives me the output, whatever is we are storing in the file. This gives me the S string. So let me restart my application. See, we got the HTML output. Same output which is there in the file is given in the string format. So we can do complex logic also, like by passing I'll show one complex logic with passing map list of map objects. Like example, if I have an employee object, if I want to show in this data template how we have to use, I'll show. So I have created one vegetable FTL. So let me copy this to my Eclipse. See, this is my vegetable FTL, which has a list of values. This is example, think it's a list of employee objects or list of vegetable object, where I have vegetable name and vegetable price. So I'll show how we have to handle this type of things. I'm going to create one more. I'm using the same file based marker. This time it is vegetable doubles. So I'm sending it to vegetable HTML, but now I have to pass first one is title. So my title is vegetable. So and I have to pass one object as values, vegetable values. So it should be list of objects, list of example. Think if it is a vegetable object. So I have to pass it as a map only. So I'm going to create string veg map, new hash map, veg map dot put. First one is name, another one is price. So name equal to tomato, I'll put price as it's not strings, it's an object because price is a double value. So I'm changing it to object. Price is 25 rupees. So I need to store this to list. So list of object map of string comma object list list new array list. So veg list dot add veg map, similarly add one more vegetable, this time I'll add potato, price is 50. So now I need to add this to my data object. So data, this is values veg list. So I'm going to see when I restart my server. Sorry, there is some compilation issue. It's of type object. Not string. So let me restart my server. It should create one vegetable HTML. So let me go and check. Yeah, it's created vegetable HTML. If I open, it's created a table format, name, price, tomato 25, potato 50, like that. So this type of content, if you want to attach to mail body, we can easily attach. We just need to add some simple CSS to make it the table format. So if you see, I have added some border and alignment padding, so it was giving nice look and feel. So if you expect if any of this value may be coming null, we need to handle, because if you are passing null object to this data model, it will throw the exception. I'll show you. I'll add one more object. As drumstick, but I will not pass the price. I will give it as null. So if I run my application, it will throw the exception. See, we got the exception. value price is at this line is getting null, is missing or null. So if you are expecting, if your value maybe there is a chance that you may get null, we have to use if else condition. So we can use if. From the documentation you should be able to get how to use if else and all. So see, if condition, if it is null use, if it is not null use this value, else put empty, something like that we can use. So I'm going to update my vegetable thing. I'm expecting price might be null. If hash if hash else this time just use empty td and close the if. Slash hash if. Paste this too, because we are using from this path. So I'm going to restart my server. So again I think fail to execute command line runner. I think I'm using wrong syntax, let me check. So the error clearly says I'm using the interpolation inside this freemarker expression. So we have no need to use this interpolation here. And I want to check the value exists or not. So if value exists, use that value in the TD, else use empty TD. So I'm going to run my application. So my server is started. So let me go and check the output. Sorry, not this one. This is the HTML which we have generated. So now because the else part we are using the empty TD. If price is not there, it is displaying empty. If you are not using that if else, it will throw the exception, template exception. Thank you friends. Please subscribe to my channel for newer updates.